423 WTIC. John G. Rowland here with you. And the question is Obamacare meant to fail? And we'll visit your calls in just a second. I think they want to just make the whole thing implode, and we have to go to a single-payer system. And I think that's the plan. And the only way they can get to single-payer system is to have this thing fail. Obama will be out of office, and we go from there. All right, let's find some good news. Let's go to State Representative David Labriola, and you got some good economic news for us, Representative Labriola.
Yes. Yesterday, the Connecticut Airport Authority established a business enterprise zone for the Oxford Airport, which is great news, and it's good to be on with you, Governor.
David, this is like real economic policy, is when you have enterprise zones and you set the stage for businesses to then decide if they want to invest in an area based on, workforce, quality of life, tax credits, right, rather than paying people to move from Westport to Stamford and some other craziness.
Right. This is not like that. This is not corporate welfare. This is exactly what public policy needs to be, where we're creating this engine of economic growth. How excellent the Oxford Airport is. It is really a jewel in the region, and this will allow us to maximize the potential for the entire Oxford region.
So, when I always think about enterprise zones, I think back to the Reagan Revolution, and I think back to an old friend of mine who's passed away at a very young age, Jack Kemp.
Right.
And he was a pure, true supply-sider, which I think you and I are.
Yes.
And the concept is let the economic system work, let the free enterprise system work, and the role of government should be to provide an incentive here and there to act as an economic engine or growth opportunity versus giveaways.
Right. He was a supply-sider, really way ahead of his time in a lot of different categories. He had a real far-sighted vision. But I agree with you. This is the way that we're going to attract businesses. We're going to create jobs. We're going to expand the tax rolls. And it's the area directly adjacent to the airport. So it's not going to affect the rural character of Oxford and Southbury and Middlebury, which are so critical to those communities. Instead, it's going to create jobs and bring in businesses in the area right near the airport. And by the way, these businesses do not have to be airport related. They can be any businesses that are in the geographic area that we're speaking of.
Well, I know a lot of importing, exporting. These days I go on the computer and I'm ordering everything imaginable. I'm sending stuff out. In 24 hours you get something somewhere. So there's a lot of ancillary services that are connected with this kind of work.
Right, and it's not just limited to those communities. It's really the whole region. The airport is next to 84, and Route 8. Oxford is just a great hub for this type of activity. And this took us a long time. We've been pulling and tugging, and this bill got vetoed, and we had to redo it, and finally the governor was on board, and we appreciate his support very much, as well as Department of Transportation and OPM, and in finally making this happen, creating this airport authority, which unanimously approved this yesterday. So it's good news, hot off the press.
We're talking to State Representative David Labriola, representing Oxford, Naugatuck, Southbury. Great, along that Route 84 corridor, still a lot of manufacturers, a lot of opportunities. What's your sense of what's happening? Do you see some openings, a little loosening of the job market?
I do. I think what you're seeing is the next generation of businesses. And, we're adapting. And Connecticut has a lot of resources, not only our geography between Boston and New York, but our beauty. It's a gorgeous state, and we have some of the most educated workforce in the country and the world, actually. We've got these excellent institutions of higher education. We have a lot going for us here in Connecticut. What we have to do is not overtax our businesses and our citizens and not spend like crazy.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Responsible fiscal policy, and we need these kind of programs which bring jobs here rather than seeing this exodus of businesses that we've seen for far too long.
Hey, David, thanks so very, very much. Congratulations to you and Rob Kane. Work well done. I knew it took a long time. David Labriola, State Representative, Southbury, Oxford, Naugatuck.